When you launch a Nearpod for students, you go to the Nearpod that you want, click Live Participation, and a code will pop up. Once that code is popped up, I've already done this one, so I'm going to say Launch New Live Participation. The students will then see a code. They can go to nearpod.com, enter the code in, and then they have access to your slides. The code stays in the top left corner for the entire time that you're there, so any student who comes in late can also be able to enter the code on their own. Now, there's a couple of features that you should know. If students have joined and you don't want to show all of their names, you can click Hide Student Names. Then anything that they put up in a collaboration board, etc., won't show their name. As the students go through the slides, they'll come across several questions in this particular slideshow. The first thing that I want you to see is on a collaboration board. On a collaboration board, you have the opportunity as a teacher to say whether you'd like to approve student comments before they are posted. I generally say yes, but you don't have to. If you want to just share the screen and have the kids say whatever they want and you trust that everything's going to be okay, you can click no. If you click yes, however, here's what it looks like. As students enter their answers, you'll see a little notification up here that shows you that you need to check an answer. I can click it, open it up, and I see that it says, it's great, I love the setting. I can show student names and see that I wrote that. And if I don't think that's an appropriate answer, you can exit out. If you're like, okay, it's not a correct answer, but it's not inappropriate, you can allow it and it will show up on the board. Let's say, however, a student decides to use the picture version here. You can add a picture if you want to share a thought. You can search for a picture or whatever. So let's say I open this up and a student has just put in a picture of the Hulk. And you're like, no, what are you talking about? You can exit and that will not show up on the board. Students can then like each other's answers and stuff like that if you choose to do something along those lines. Let's say then, if you are working through something, you realize I kind of want to add in a formative assessment. I am understanding that a lot of people don't seem to be understanding the question. How did the setting reveal the universal idea? Someone's just saying, oh, I love the setting. That's wrong. I need to assess what's going on. Even though you don't have it in your actual Google Slides or you don't have it in your Nearpod, you can go to Add Activity and you can ask them a couple questions. So maybe an open-ended question. You can say, what is a universal idea? And immediately, a new slide will open up. Students will then have access to this new question, even though it wasn't originally in your Google Slides or in your Nearpod slides. Now let's say that Kelsey redeems herself and comes up with a better idea now. A universal idea is an idea that applies to anyone, regardless of cultural differences. It's a generalization about life and human nature, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, wow, Kelsey, great answer. If I want other students to see this, instead of just having this list here, what I can do is I can share. And as I share, it actually goes to all of the students' screens so they can read this one idea. If I unshare it, it goes back to the list of things that I have here. A final gamification activity that you can put in is called Time to Climb. If you're using Time to Climb, what it will do is give the students a second to come up with their character. Once they've chosen their character, they'll show up on the screen. When you push Start, they will be getting a series of questions or quiz-like questions. It's basically just a fun and competitive way for students to answer questions and reach the quote-unquote top. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me.